Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have some more great, horrible news that seems to be if you say the wrong pronouns, you get disqualified even though you're doing super well. Yeah, that's right. If you don't say the right pronouns, you will be kicked from a tournament that you are doing well in. Or if you're doing bad in. Doesn't really matter because that's the reality of things. If you don't get to say, if you don't go to their idealism or what they want you to say, you get punished for it. Because that's being intolerant and nice, right? Well, here we go. We have Pokemon card tournament DQ's player for laughing while saying his preferred pronouns. A nervous CC player claims he was disqualified from the Charlotte Pokemon Regional about he laughed while giving his preferred pronouns. Makiani Tron lost on $800, 2 flights, and time off school after his time at the Charlotte Pokemon Regional was cut short for a bizarre reason. In a tweet longer, the youngster revealed that his weekend turned to tears before he could even make a move against his opponent. Alex Shimensky, one of the U.S. best players on stream, according to Tran, as he walked over the stream area, a judge asked him what his preferred pronouns were and screamed to fumble over his words. That's when the trouble started. Pokemon card player disqualified after pronoun kerfuffle. In his post, Tran said that his nerves got the better of him when asked about his pronouns, leading him to respond, he, him, or Tran claimed that he struggled to think of a third pronoun and felt embarrassed as he tried to do so, resulting in him nervously laughing about it. After Alex shared his pronouns without issue, Tran followed up by resharing his, but once again raucously laughed. This resulted in the Pokemon card judge taking issue with Mal. Makani replied, "Okay, just wanted to check to be safe, but I'll go by they, them, so don't be a jerk about it," the judge reporter said. A bit into that match, Tran and Shimensky were pulled off stage by the head judge and told that another match would be streamed instead. It turns out the way Tran had answered the pronoun question had caused some issues. After admitting to awkward laughing due to nervousness, he was disqualified. The judge said that while he believed that I had no bad intentions, it didn't matter because at the end of the day, someone was offended and upset, Tran added. For his part, Alex even noted on Twitter that he didn't feel his opponent should have been disqualified, but added that judges are unable to share their side of the story. I'm actually at a loss for words. I don't even know what to say right now. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. This means the world to me. I'm so grateful for all the support I've received, and I'm just amazed. Love you all, guys, and thank you again for everything. Luckily, this story does have a bit of a happy ending. After the disastrous DQ, a GoFundMe was set up to replace McConaughey's expenses, and it's already surpassed its goal of $1,500 or by over $1,000. It's not clear if changes will be implemented to prevent issues like this from happening again, but at least the youngster will be reimbursed. Now we have this massive twit longer that we'll have to go through, unfortunately. But yeah. It says, "Hey everyone, I know a lot of questions about everything. I know you all have a lot of questions about everything that happened this weekend, and I'm sorry I couldn't inform you all on what went down sooner. I have put a lot of thought and caution into making this. It's a topic I don't take lightly, and it's not something that I should be messed about. With that being said, here's everything that happened that led the head judge to cue me from the Green Jewelers and escort me out of the venue. It all started around 6. I was 5-0 and had just all hit Alex, a very well-known player, as well as very skilled player. With all this in mind, I was obviously a bit nervous. Keep in mind, I've been on stream 2 times prior, but it's still always nerve-wracking in front of so many people. And I can understand that. Some people have problems, maybe talking to people or whatever, or in big audiences, and you get nerves. That's normal. That's pretty much everybody. I mean, it's like a muscle. You gotta work at it, practice at it, and eventually over time, you do get better at being able to speak in front of people. And sometimes it doesn't even happen until you get into adulthood that you get over it. So this is a completely normal type of thing. This is not out of the ordinary. I went to my table and saw Alex and a judge standing there, and the judge informed me that we were going to keep playing on stream. I was excited, of course, and we started to talk over the stream area. On our way over to the stream, the judge asked for preferred pronouns. I said, he, or him, and I paused to try to think of the third pronoun being his. Just as I stood there looking stupid trying to think of the third pronoun, I felt embarrassed because I was failing to think of a simple word. Due to the nerves and me being embarrassed, I let a little laugh, just a normal nervous laugh. My response together ended up being, he, or haha, his. That's it. That's all I said. Anyways, after that, we continued to walk and reach the stream area. Just to clarify, the judge once more, what are your guys' preferred pronouns? Alex says he and him, and I say, yeah, he, him, and him. The little laugh at the end was just because I was trying to not be awkward and because I was just slating the exact thing Alex had just stated, and it was kind of silly to me in that scenario. No, it wasn't. It was silly because the pronouns shouldn't bloody matter in this scenario at all. Why does it matter? at all. You're making this a bigger deal than it needs to be, and I feel sorry for this guy that got disqualified because it's bullshit. It's not his fault. I mean, we're all gonna be this awkward, weird teenager at some point in our lives, and especially with things so basic as knowing it's as a him. It's like I'm not. It's like if somebody gave that to me, I'd be like, "What do you think I go by? Just go by what you want. I don't care what you call me." So at the end of this story, I don't care. It's stupid. In this scenario, I was also reminded of when I was on stream for Top 8 of Baltimore earlier in the season. When I was on stream, no one asked for my pronouns, so to be safe, the commenters referred to me as they, them. My friends made fun of me sometimes for this, just lighthearted jokes, because it embarrassed me a bit because those weren't my pronouns. To clarify, I have zero issue with people's pronouns and how they choose to identify and express themselves. I have never had issues with it and never will, because at the end of the day, it's their choice and it doesn't affect my life. As long as people are happy, I'm happy. Keep this in mind when reading, please. Back to the event. After Alex and I gave our response for the second time, the judge looked at me and said, "Okay, I just wanted to be safe. I go by they, them, so don't be a jerk about it." They smiled after this and gave no signs whatsoever of being upset or uncomfortable. When they said don't be a jerk about it, I thought they were just saying in general, like in the future or something. I had no clue that I had to upset them, and I had no intention to do so whatsoever, obviously, because this is not something that you meant to do to harm people. It's stupid to think otherwise. There has to be an actual meaning to actual harm people, and this is not one of them. I thought nothing of this because to me it was just a normal conversation that people have had before going on stream. It was basically just like a San Diego went before I went on stream. So, all this. So now, we go down to this. I'm going to skim through this. This is a very long twit longer, and I don't want to waste your guys' time with this, with the nitty-gritty. I said the only possible thing I might have done that could have been taken the wrong way was when I laughed a bit and I told them that I was just nervous. The judge then told me to walk off the stage and talk off stage. I was still confused during this, and even confused when I see two or more players walking on the stage to take Alex in my spots. This has never happened before, at least from what I've heard. I walked behind the curtains by the stage, and the head judge, can't remember his name, I think it was Bobby, asked me what exactly was said. I explained what happened and that the nervous laugh was because I was embarrassed and because of what went down at Baltimore. During this, I was very polite and calm, and I made sure to clearly get my point across and made it extremely clear that I had no intention whatsoever of harming or upsetting anyone. I explained that I have absolutely nothing against people's pronouns, and I never have. There was no incentive I could have possibly had, especially since I had just recently earned my invite, why I tried to lose that. The head judge seemed to understand, so I was a bit relieved, but then he pulls out the rulebook on his phone and says that due to me violating their inclusive policy and due to me making someone feel unsafe and uncomfortable, I was disqualified from the event. I was just in disbelief. I remember saying, "Wait, what?" I was so confused. I had just explained very calmly what happened, and he was listening. I was stunned. I asked to sit down on a nearby chair to try and process what was going on. I still had a bit of hope left and said, "Is there any way I can appeal this?" I again stated how I was really sorry if I upset someone and that I had zero malicious intent whatsoever, that I had nothing against people's pronouns. At this point, my message was very clear. I had no intention whatsoever to offend or hurt anyone. I was truly sorry if someone interpreted it wrong. This is where it really escalated. The head judge told me that he was sorry and that it sucked, but I was disqualified due to Pokemon's policy. At this point, I'm at the verge of tears, but I tried the best way to keep my composure. I just couldn't understand what was happening. Was the judge just not listening to anything I just told him, or was he trying to look at my side of the story at all? Or one last time, if I asked him to appeal, there's anything I could do. I asked the judge and another judge to have upset requests were refused. So, yeah, that's essentially what the case is. I'll post this twit longer here. But at the end of the day, guys, the insanity is that we're in a society now, if you do not say your own pronouns or what have you, then guess what? You get disqualified, your life is ruined. And you get to bully somebody out of winning, potentially, and doing very well, removing their future. It is bullshit. At least there is a GoFundMe now for this young gentleman, and I support him, and you should actually go to that GoFundMe as well. Because the fact that we're in a society today where if you say the wrong thing, you're immediately canceled and then your potential career or life is ruined. This doesn't necessarily happen to him, but his chance of maybe making a career of himself, of being successful, gets canceled and removed because what he said. Because they don't like because they felt uncomfortable. You know what? Somebody can say the N-word to me, and I can feel uncomfortable. That doesn't give me the right to completely ruin their life and make sure that they don't exist. Alright? That's not okay. These are what the trans activists are. These are what the people are doing. They want you to conform to what they say, and if you don't do what they say, you are immediately removed from society. You are ostracized. You are evil. You are not a good person. You make people feel uncomfortable. You, trans community, are going way, way too far. And we are going to fight back against this bullshit because I'm tired of it. You're not going to no longer have your way. You're not going to have the ability to cancel people, remove their lives from whatever, because you feel uncomfortable on what they said. That says a lot more about you than what about them. He clearly stated he didn't mean to offend anybody, and he made it very clear, and even though he made it very, very clear on what his intentions are, you made it clear pretty much go down into tears and removed him from his ability to be able to play the game. That is a form of fucked up shit, evil, that I will not condone. Fuck you guys, and everything that you wrote in on. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.